Do you love logic? Or even better, are you the kind of person who likes to, point out when your friends make a fallacy or an incorrect argument during a discussion? If that's the case, this video is for you. Let me tell you that if you're not careful, you may be committing a huge mistake. In my experience, one of the most popular fallacies out there is the ad hominem fallacy. That is an appeal to the person. It means that you are not focusing your reply or your arguments on the arguments of the counterpart, but rather you are focusing on attributes of the person in order to dismiss or invalidate the argument of your counterpart. And as we have seen in the channel before, we have two kinds of fallacies ad hominem. The first one is offensive, which means that you're literally offending, insulting the person in order to invalidate their point. And the other one is circumstantial, which means that you are using a particular circumstance of the person in order to dismiss their points. I will leave the links to the examples in the description. But in this video, I would like to focus very briefly on the offensive kind of ad hominem fallacy, because it is very tempting, especially if you read arguments on the internet, for instance, or if you have a very heated discussion with a friend or someone, with whom you have some history, then that, the insults fly one way and another. Have you seen that before? Well, for those of you, the fallacy hunters, many of you, I'm sure many of you may be tempted to see some kind of an insult online, for instance, and then claim, hey, no, that's an ad hominem. Yeah, your argument's not valid anymore. Well, let me tell you that you may be doing this wrong. Let us take the following example. Person A says, well, the earth is flat. And as a reply, person B says, oh, you're such an idiot. What do you think? Is that an ad hominem fallacy, yes or no? Pause the video, have a moment, think about it, and then resume and see the answer. Well, if your answer was that this is indeed an ad hominem fallacy, well, congratulations, you made a huge mistake. Don't do that again. Let me tell you why. It is very important to remember what is the definition of a fallacy, okay? So, a fallacy, by definition, is an argument, okay? It's an argument that looks correct, that looks valid, but in its essence, it is not, okay? That is a fallacy. It is a kind of argument. It is a bad one, okay? Granted, a bad one, but it must be an argument. Now, in the example we just used, what we saw is simply someone claiming something and then the other person just insulting them. Nothing else. It's just a clean insult, not an argument. And since it is not an argument, therefore, it is not a fallacy, and even less an ad hominem fallacy. Well then, but how would the previous example look if it were actually a fallacy? Well, let's say person A says, again, the earth is flat. Well, but person B, now wanting to, create a correct ad hominem fallacy, the person B should say something on the lines of, you are so wrong, man, because you're an idiot. So now I'm saying that the reason why you're wrong, the reason why what you propose is rubbish, is because you're an idiot, okay? Now, we are not addressing the point that the earth is flat. We could, give scientific arguments, whatever we want in order to dismiss that point, but no. Instead of that, we appeal to the intelligence or to whatever attribute of the other person in order to dismiss a claim. That is a fallacy, because it's saying, because you're an idiot, therefore your argument is invalid. And that's a real fallacy. Now we can go even further and take the first example I gave, in which you had just a clean insult, and as we saw, that is not a fallacy proper, right? But sometimes in heated discussions you have insults, in daily life, for better or worse. So person A could say, yeah, the earth is flat. Person B then could reply, well, you're such an idiot, and then started giving correct arguments to follow. That is life, and there would be no fallacies again, you see. But there will be just an insult. Well, I hope this helps you, because in the future, when you're looking at arguments online or even in your daily life or wherever, and you see an insult, don't feel the temptation to call that out right away as an ad hominem fallacy. Examine, please, observe whether there are arguments or not, whether there are premises and conclusions, whether there are reasons given around the insult, let's say, before claiming that something is an ad hominem fallacy, okay? If you've been doing this, I hope this saved you, from future mistakes, because one day you may encounter someone who actually, watches Chichon Teaches, and, that person will put you in your place for not knowing what a fallacy is. Till next time, my friends, subscribe to the channel. Take care.